and the omnibus. So I was forced into the Archers when I was a child. And look, it's come back to bite me later on. I'm awash with this stuff.
The Archers is the world's longest-running radio show, with more than 15,000 episodes broadcast. Despite being a rural flavor show, The Archers is recorded in the heart of...
Welcome to the Deep Dive. We're the shortcut that helps you get truly well-informed by diving deep into your sources and pulling out exactly what you need to know.
That's the idea.
You know how sometimes the really big stuff, the intricate challenges facing a whole community, they don't come from big reports, but just from, well, everyday life.
Exactly. Like chats you over here, or maybe, things families talk about quietly.
Or even, as we'll see today, maybe a weird feeling under the floorboards.
Oh, yeah.
Well, today's deep dive is a bit different. We're using excerpts from an audio drama, which is a pretty unique source for us.
It really is, and it paints this incredibly vivid picture of village life, doesn't it?
It does. So our mission here is to pull out the key threads from these, interwoven stories. We want to give you that shortcut to understanding the pulse of this community, Ambridge, as it grapples with some pretty big changes.
Right. We'll be looking at how people there are navigating, business challenges, some serious family concerns, and even the whole future of their land.
And what's fascinating, I think, is how it all connects. These threads aren't really separate.
Not at all. It really shows how interconnected life is in a place like that. Resilience, adaptation, it's all there.
Okay, so let's start with a local business, the Ambridge shop. Now, you'd expect a small village shop to really struggle when a bigger competitor, like this Underwoods local, opens up nearby, right?
You definitely would. That's usually the story.
But the sources here say the shop's profits actually held steady, maybe even increased a bit. How?
Well, it wasn't just luck, that's for sure. It seems they made some really smart strategic choices. They didn't just try to compete head on.
They evolved.
Exactly. They diversified. They added things their customers actually wanted, like sections for wool, DIY stuff, even a world food shelf.
Oh, right. The sources said that went down a storm.
Yeah. It sounds like it was a big hit. And they had this sort of mantra, didn't they?
Uh-huh. What do our customers want? And then we give it to them. Simple, but clearly effective.
Very. It shows they were listening, really connected to the community, that helped them stay one step ahead, keep themselves relevant.
It's a great lesson, isn't it? For any local business facing bigger competition, know your people.
Absolutely. It's about more than just selling things. It's about, serving the community's specific needs, almost curating for them.
But then, just as things seem to be going, surprisingly well.
Yeah, there's always a but then, isn't there?
Right. A spongy floor.
Yeah.
Upstairs in the flat above the shop.
And the builder, Terry, he finds it. And it's bad news. Lots of dry rot.
Ugh. Dry rot. That sounds serious.
Oh, it is. Terry apparently called it a nightmare to deal with. It's not just a quick patch job.
So what does dealing with it actually involve?
Well, pulling back carpets, obviously. Pulling up floorboards, checking the actual joists, the structure itself.
Right.
Then you need specialists. They have to cut out all the affected wood, maybe replace joists entirely, and then treat the whole area with fungicide. It's a huge job.
Wow. Okay, so a major structural problem. But what does that mean for the shop itself and, the people involved?
Well, the immediate thing is Christopher, the tenant upstairs, he has to move out. Straight.
Okay, that makes sense. But the shop?
That's the critical bit. The shop and the post office, which is vital, they have to close completely, temporarily, but still.
How long are we talking?
The estimate is 2 or maybe 3 weeks, because the building just won't be safe during the repairs. And messy. Incredibly messy.
2 or 3 weeks closure for a small shop. That's huge.
It's massive. And think about the logistics. Susan, one of the owners, she's faced with clearing all the stock, by tomorrow night.
Tomorrow? How is that even possible?
Well, her colleague Joy is trying to be optimistic, apparently, but Susan calls it an impossible task, shifting fridges, freezers, everything.
And the timing, just after they seem to be weathering the competition.
Exactly. Susan's biggest worry, according to the source, is that if customers are forced to go elsewhere for 2 or 3 weeks,
they might just stay there.
They might not come back. Yeah. She sees it as an absolute disaster. It just shows how vulnerable even a successful local business can be, one unexpected problem.
And it hits the whole community when the shop and post office close. Okay, let's shift gears a bit. From the shop floor to the fields.
Right. Another big challenge brewing there.
A really big one, it sounds like. The sources mentioned the potential loss of half the contract with BL.
Yeah, described as a massive blow. And crucially, there's no guarantee they can find other work to fill that gap.
Is this just sort of bad luck for them, or is it part of something bigger?
Well, the source does mention that a lot of landowners are going down a similar route, so it suggests this isn't isolated.
A wider trend. Maybe a shift away from traditional farming contracts.
Could be. Or pressures forcing landowners to make different choices about how they use their land. It definitely raises bigger questions about, food production versus other land uses.
But the family involved here, they're not just giving up. They seem to be fighting back, in a way.
Oh, definitely. They're actively adapting. The sources mention moving to more regenerative farming methods.
Like the no-till drill example.
Exactly. They seem to really believe in it. There's this strong conviction that abandoning food production is short-sighted.
And that it's entirely possible to farm well, environmentally, using these regenerative techniques.
Right. Which sounds great, very forward-thinking. But
there's a but again.
There is. The challenge isn't just the farming itself, it's convincing the people in charge.
The internal politics.
Pretty much. We hear that Justin, who seems to be a key figure, is avoiding all my calls and Stella's. Stella being another advocate for this approach.
So they have the vision, the methods, but they're hitting a wall with leadership.
It looks that way. It's fascinating, isn't it? How innovation can get stalled not by the tech, but by, people and power dynamics. Resistance to change.
And it sounds like it's all building towards a specific moment.
Yes, a board meeting this Friday. That seems to be the crunch point.
Is there any hope they can sway things?
Well, there's a mention that other board members, Martin and Annabelle, feel similarly. They might support the regenerative approach too.
Okay, so maybe strengthen numbers.
That's the hope. The thinking is that Justin needs the board on side. He might not push his own agenda if the support isn't there.
High stakes for the farm's future then. And maybe a signpost for farming elsewhere too.
Absolutely. It really underscores how these big decisions about land and food get made. It's not always just about the bottom line or even the environment. It's about who holds the power.
Okay, let's shift one more time from the fields and boardrooms to something much more personal. Family concerns.
Yeah, the sources bring us right into the heart of a family dealing with anxiety.
There's Martha, a young girl who has a hospital appointment coming up on Thursday. Ezra referred her.
And you can really feel the tension around it. The family is just looking for reassurance. That word says a lot, doesn't it?
It really does. Hints at some underlying worry there.
And there's that delicate family dynamic too. An offer to go with Alice, Martha's mom, to the appointment.
Which she turns down.
Gently, yeah. She says Chris, her partner, will be there. And she asks for privacy about it all.
It's just a very real human moment. A reminder that behind all the business and community stuff, these personal anxieties are playing out.
Completely. Life doesn't stop just because the shop roof might cave in or the farm contract's at risk.
Exactly. And then, right in the middle of all this stress about Martha's health, Alice's father brings up something huge. Completely out of the blue, it seems.
What's that?
He asks her about coming back to farming. Specifically, about maybe taking over home farm.
Wow. Talk about timing. How does she even react to that?
Well, her first response is pretty understandable, I think.
Yeah.
She says yes, but only in an abstract kind of way.
Like, yeah, maybe someday, but not now.
Exactly. She says she has so much on her plate at the moment, which is clearly true.
Of course. Dealing with her daughter's health scare.
But her father doesn't just drop it, apparently. He pushes a bit. Gently, maybe? Sensing there's still some interest there, despite everything.
And what happens? Does she shut it down?
That's the really interesting part. She doesn't say no. Her answer is, I don't know.
Ah, so the door isn't closed.
Not at all. It's left open for another time.
Yeah.
And it's just, wow, it shows how these massive life questions, these potential turning points, can suddenly appear right when you're focused on just getting through the day.
Yeah, it forces you to think about the future, even when the present feels overwhelming. It's a powerful moment.
It really is. Like a dream you'd put aside suddenly becoming a real possibility again.
Indeed. Life has a way of doing that, doesn't it? Presenting these opportunities or crossroads when you least expect them.
So wrapping this up, this deep dive has really shown us a community in flux, hasn't it?
Absolutely. Through these different lenses, the shock, the farm, the family, we see people constantly needing to adapt.
We saw the shop, Successful, but suddenly vulnerable. Fighting to survive that dry rot crisis.
And the farm, grappling with losing a major contract, but also pushing for a whole new regenerative future against some internal resistance.
And then the family, facing deep personal anxiety about health, but also this unexpected huge question about taking over the farm.
Each story, whether it's about business or something deeply personal, it's about navigating uncertainty, isn't it? Making crucial choices about what comes next.
It's like a microcosm of how communities everywhere have to deal with change and challenge. That interconnectedness you mentioned earlier really comes through.
It really does. None of these struggles happen in a vacuum.
So here's something to think about as we finish. How often do the really pivotal moments, the decisions that shape our lives or our communities, how often do they come not from some grand strategy, but from the unexpected?
Yeah, like the spongy floorboard.
Or the phone call that doesn't get returned.
Or that quiet, maybe difficult conversation about the future.
It makes you wonder, doesn't it? Where does real resilience come from? Is it in the planning, or is it in how we react when the plans go completely sideways? Something to mull over.
So what are you doing now?
Just getting ready for the next episode. Just
And,
moving mics around.
So what do you do?
I do the spot effects on the arches. Any
Are you what we
movements
call Foley then?
and- kind of. Yep. That's,
Okay. And these are all part of the paraphernalia of production.
Yep. That's the ball bar. That's,
This one.
yep. That's.
Haley so wanted to be in their own place when their baby came. It's due in 2 months. Not much chance of that now. No. I mean, it would have been a stretch for them financially, mind, but I just wish there was something practical I could do to help them, Caroline. I mean,
I think The Archers has had this immense popularity over the years, basically because it has always very accurately reflected the reality of life and living in a rural community at whatever